Okay, I'm reading my first story, Pretty Young Thing. I'm sorry, Lori, but we're looking for a fresh, new, right out of college face to represent us. You're just too old. Orange, said the head interviewer, trying to catch the younger girl's mistake. Yes, orange, a term that means you're too overqualified for the job. You've simply got too much experience in this business to be an assistant here at Youngin Magazine. The girl sarcastically chimed in again. Lori Florence had been out of a job for 19 years after she had her daughter. She quit her publishing job to stay at home and take care of her little girl, Nina. She was absolutely crushed. When she graduated from Gray Oak University 26 years ago, she went straight to working as an assistant for a publishing company in New York until she had Nina. Lori had always wanted to be a publisher for a publishing company that writes about celebrities and targets millennials. By the time she realized that she wanted to go back to work being a publisher, it was too late. She was too old for the job. When the position opened up a few months prior, she went and submitted her application thinking that maybe they would consider hiring a 41-year-old woman instead of a woman in her 20s or 30s. She was right. However, this was something Lori thought she could pull off. She had long, brown hair, firm-looking skin with absolutely no wrinkles. She wore makeup that was brighter and dressed in tighter, more chic clothing that made her look like an average teenager or young adult. Oftentimes, people in public would mistake her for a young girl, claiming that she was a sister rather than a mother. Her friends, too, thought she had a younger look to her. They claimed that she was super giggly and somewhat ditzy around men, which often attracted more of the younger men than the older. Meanwhile, her friends only got noticed by the older men, which made them jealous of Lori's ability to act younger than she was. Lori and her friends, Kate and Molly, came up with the best plan to help Lori fake her age. All Lori needed to do was get a fake ID and continue to dress and act the way she did. A week later, Lori got a fake ID with all of her information on it, except she changed her birth date to make herself 26 instead of 41. After receiving the ID, she created a resume to match her new identity and applied for a publishing job at Teen Print. On Monday morning, she got a call from an unknown number. She started it for a while, asking herself whether or not she should answer it or let it go to voicemail. If it was something important, they would call again or leave a message, right? Then she quickly remembered that she had applied for a job, so she picked it up on almost the last ring. Hello, this is Lori Florence speaking, she proudly proclaimed into the phone. Hello, Lori, this is Diane Wilkins from Teen Print. I'm calling to tell you that we are interested in seeing what you have to offer here and would like to schedule an interview. Lori covered the phone speaker and shrieked and jumped with excitement. Hello, Lori, are you still there? Yes, I'm still here and would love to schedule an interview. Wednesday, 9 a.m., don't be late, and the sound of a constant buzz was all that Lori was left with. On Wednesday morning, Lori woke up before her 6 o'clock alarm. She threw the covers open and got up to get in the shower. She put on her best outfit, a floral print dress, and knee-high black boots. She curled her hair into tight curls and brushed them out to create beach waves. She applied peach eyeshadow and put on her pinkest lip gloss. On her way to Teen Print, she made sure to stop at Dunkin' Donuts so she could really act like one of the typical white girls. When she got to Teen Print, she looked at herself in the rearview mirror to make sure she looked good. Then she put on her best smile, walked and strutted her stuff into that interview with the most confidence she has ever had in her life. We're looking forward to having a fresh young face join us here at Teen Print. Welcome aboard. I will see you first thing Monday morning. This particular sentence put the biggest smile on Lori's face. She had done it. Thank you, Diane. I look forward to being your assistant. Lori got up and pranced out the door, skipping as if not a single thing in the world could stop her. That night, she went out to celebrate with Kate and Molly for a job well done by all of them. After the three of them had consumed a fair amount of drinks, their laughter erupted like a volcano, and they could not handle themselves. When stumbling to the bathroom in hopes that she didn't wet her pants, Lori stumbled upon a young, good-looking man. She studied him closely. Messy brown hair, blue eyes deep enough to swim in, chiseled jawline, very muscular arms. What's not to like? She gave him the slight smirk right before she ran straight into a chair. You've got to be kidding me, Lori thought in her head. The good-looking man seemed to look more like a boy, walked right up to her as she tried to get up and brushed herself off in hopes that nobody saw her fall over the chair. Are you okay? I saw you take a bit of a tumble. He reaches down to grab her purse off of the alcohol-covered floor. Embarrassed, Lori grabs her purse from the good-looking man. Oh my gosh, I was hoping nobody saw that. That's embarrassing. I'm Gabe, nice to meet you. His voice was warm with a rounded feel, cozy, like a blanket that wraps around or covers you and touches your heart. Lori was starstruck, and the only thing she could get to come out of her mouth was, Lori. She smiled at him. He smiled back. It was awkward. Neither of them knew what to say. Finally, Gabe broke the silence. So, what brings you here tonight? I got offered my dream job. With the biggest smile on her face, Lori picked up her glass, raised it, then gulped down what was left of it. That night, Lori and Gabe talked about their lives until the bar closed for the night, and even then they sat there talking until the owner kicked them out. Lori hadn't even realized that her friends had left her there. They didn't check in or ask if she wanted to leave. They just left her. It didn't matter to Lori, though, because she got to learn all about Gabe. Lori learned that Gabe was the owner of a tattoo shop right down the street from the bar in which they were sitting at that very moment. The one thing that Lori forgot to mention to Gabe was that she was actually 41 and she had a daughter. She knew that Gabe thought she was a lot younger by the way he talked to her and the fact that he actually seemed like he was super interested in her. After the two lovebirds got kicked out of the bar, they went to Gabe's shop so he could show Lori around the place. It smelled like antiseptic with a hint of cigar smoke. It was small, had one chair, and the walls were filled with tattoo designs, one of which stood out to Lori. The anchor with vines and the flowers wrapped around it. Lori had always wanted that tattooed on her arm, but never had the courage until she was drunker than a skunk. Gabe agreed to do it for half the price, and he began to work on her tattoo. As time passed, the two of them got more and more giggly. It felt as though the entire room had filled up with laughing gas. Anything that was said made the two of them shriek and laugh until they were on the floor in tears. You know, I've always told myself I would never be this drunk in public, and I definitely didn't ever think I would get a tattoo, Lori said in between trying to catch her breath from laughing so hard. I never thought I would give someone a tattoo while I was drunk. So I guess we're both crazy, Gabe said as he chuckled to himself. This is the most fun I've had in a very long time, Lori said with a relieving sigh. When the clock struck 2:30 in the morning, Lori realized that she had yet to contact her friends who had left her at the bar with the mysterious stranger. But she knew that they would most likely be asleep right now, so she ignored it. Lori knew in her head that it was time to go, but she didn't want to leave Gabe. This was the first time since Nina was born that she actually felt happy. She didn't want to ruin it. When Gabe finished Lori's tattoo, Lori was ecstatic at how it turned out. I love it, I love it, I love it, she explained over and over. Thank you so much, and thank you for a great night. I think I should head for home now. Lori starts to get up and walks towards the door. Wait, can I see your phone? Gabe stuck out his hand and Lori gave him her phone. Gabe put his number in her phone and then gave it back with a smile on his face. There, now you can call me whenever you want another tattoo. The two of them started laughing as they knew Lori was going to regret her decision in the morning. Seriously though, call me sometime. I had a really nice time tonight and would love to take you on a real date, if that's okay with you. I'd like that. Lori gave him a smile one last time and then set out to fetch a taxi. The following Monday, Lori showed up to her first day of work. When she walked into her new blank office, there was a bouquet of roses placed on the desk. Lori was certain that they were from her new boss, so instead of walking over to them, she started unpacking the boxes of supplies. As she was carefully setting up each object that she pulled out of her boxes, her boss, Diane, came walking by the room. She stopped and quietly knocked on the door to get Lori's attention. Lori stood up from looking into her almost empty box. Oh, hello, Diane. Thank you for the beautiful bouquet of flowers. Such a wonderful gift. Lori brushed herself off and moved her hair from in front of her face. Those are not from me. Sounds took over the room. Anyways, when you are finished unpacking, please come into my office so I can show you around and give you your first task. And with that, Diane walked out of the room. She was a lady of business. She always got right to the point and took everything seriously. When Diane left, Lori walked over to the bouquet of flowers and read the note. Lori, I had a great time Wednesday night. Dinner at 7, XOXO, Gabe. Lori took the note and held it close to her heart as she imagined going on a date with Gabe. She was smiling her biggest smile. Lori then snapped back into reality and finished unpacking her boxes. When she was finished, she went into Diane's office and Diane got up so she could give her a tour and show her the ropes. When they were done with the tour, and Diane giving Lori her first assignment of the job, Diane told Lori she was free to go home for the day. Lori felt like she was on cloud nine. She had a great first day at her dream job, and she had a date with her dream man in just a few hours. There was nothing that could go wrong. Lori skipped and pranced all the way to her car. She got in her car and drove straight home with the music blasting and the windows down while she sang her heart out. When Lori got home, she started getting ready for her date with Gabe. She wanted to look her best. The date with Gabe went absolutely wonderful for the two of them. They went to a fancy restaurant and drank wine and ate the best meal they have ever had. After they were so full they could no longer breathe, the two of them headed their separate directions. Lori had driven 40 minutes through the big city of New York to get to the restaurant, and she knew it was probably going to take even longer to get back. On her way home, she felt a sense of guilt deep inside of her. She knew it was wrong that she wasn't telling the truth about herself to Gabe. She hadn't told him because she didn't want him to leave. She had never felt such a connection with a guy before, and she didn't want to ruin their relationship. Would one small, minor detail like this really matter in the long run? Lori thought about whether she was going to tell Gabe the next time she saw him, or if she was going to keep it off until something came about that brought it up. As she was almost to her street, she decided that she was going to call him and tell him that night. When she got into her house and settled down into her pajamas, she stared at her phone for the longest time. She had never been this nervous. Lori made herself pick up the phone and dial his number. It rang once, twice, 3 times. "Hello, beautiful. There's something I need to tell you." Lori paused and waited for his response. "Of course. What is it?" I am actually 41 and I have a daughter, Nina, who is 9. The other end of the line was completely silent. I blew it. I should have told him right away. "You have a daughter? I mean, I didn't really expect that." "I know it's hard to understand, and I would understand if you lost interest. I should have told you right away." "Hey, it's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I think that's kind of awesome." "You don't think I'm too old?" "Of course not. Age is just a number. Lori, you are a young, beautiful, and talented woman in my eyes, and I don't think any differently of you after knowing that." "Thank you. You don't know how much that means to me. Anyways, I had a great time tonight, Gabe." "Good night." Lori felt so relieved that she had finally found someone that accepted her for her. She didn't need to lie or hold things back. She could just let loose and be herself. The following Monday, Lori went to work. When she got there, she didn't even merely make it to her office before Diane called her into her office with a tone that did not sound like she was in the best mood. "Good morning, boss," Lori said as she walked in with a big smile on her face in hopes that it would lighten the mood. "Hello, I called you in here because it has come to my attention that you have not been who you say you are. Last night, one of our people found some information on you that says you have a daughter and are older than what you have proclaimed to be." I don't know what to say. I just thought maybe if I didn't tell you that I was older and had a daughter, I would have a better chance of getting the job. I really wanted this job," Lori said as she felt the tears start to pile into her eyes. "I'm sorry that it has to be this way, but we are going to have to let you go. Please have your stuff packed up by the end of the day. It's been a pleasure." Lori left the office saddened at the fact that she lost her dream job. Maybe the publishing business wasn't for her. On the bright side, she had found a man who was okay with everything about her, and she no longer had to lie.